that wherever you are enjoying the show this evening, that you're doing very well, and that you've had some food for thought.
See what you did
there.
there.
Yeah, thank
good.
you. About your nutrition and where it comes from, and how you could do those little extra steps to look after your mind, body, and soul. There, we had Ellen from Health Aspire talk to us about nutrition, and we've also provided the link on that video on our Facebook page for seasonal eating. Hayley, I think it was you that made us aware of this, and you got another link that you just shared with us. Literally a resource that tells you what's in season in the UK.
Yeah, it's because when I was growing up, that's what we used to eat. We used to eat with the seasons. We didn't have strawberries all year round, and we used to go picking blackberries and gooseberries and things like that in the summer. But even they don't grow now in the UK as they used to. But it was a really interesting discussion with Ellen to think about sort of not just the seasonal eating, but the gut biome and all those kinds of things that we don't get taught, we don't think about.
No. I went for a walk with my friend the other day, and we were just by the skate park. So we weren't anywhere special as such, just in the centre of town, and all the blackberries were coming out in the hedges. And her and her son were just walking past. We're like, oh, that's a ripe one. And just taking blackberries direct off the bush. There you go. Nature's candy. It was there ready for you. Tammy, Ellen, what? I know that we've shone a spotlight on you on more than one occasion to do with your shopping and your eating habits. How are you feeling after a couple of minutes of reflection?
I'm a changed person. Again, it's just that, it's just like being mindful. It's just using that kind of like eat that rainbow, as what Ellen said. That's really stuck with me. But also, I just like the idea of that vegetable box. I used to do it a few years ago, but again, just became lazy. And there's no other reason, there's no other excuse. So it's something that I will definitely have to look back into over the next few weeks.
If you missed the conversation with Ellen, I highly recommend that you either listen back to this whole show after it's broadcast at purewestradio.com/catch up, because we still got the short conversation that Tammy had with Philippa talking about AI companions, and just Ellen's overall conversation. We had her for about half an hour in the end, talking about food, nutrition, seasonality, how it's good for you, what you need to look out for. It was really insightful. And we're going to move on now to talk to Dave. Hello.
Good evening.
Good evening. Second time on the radio this week.
This week, yes, Tom, yeah. Get popular now, aren't I?
Dave is also the voice of Pembrokeshire Island Discs, where you had Wyn Evans on, Narberth County Councillor, and Friendly Face at A&E.
Yeah, that's right.
It was a brilliant chat.
Yeah, he's an interesting guy, isn't he? Yeah. It's funny, isn't it? People say, oh, I haven't got a story to tell. I bet you have.
Everyone has a story to tell. And, well, your story, the other side of your story, as well as being Pembrokeshire Island, the voice of Pembrokeshire Island Discs, is that you're also part of Patch.
Yeah, I manage Patch, the food bank, Pembrokeshire Action to Combat Hardship. I've been going 18 years now, I believe. So, yeah, the only Pembrokeshire-based food bank.
Wow. And we're going to delve more into what that means. If you've got a question for Dave or for Patch in general, or about nutrition and food, we'll try and cast our mind back to what Ellen said, because we're not the experts on that, but we can direct you to resources that might be able to help you. You can contact us on WhatsApp 01437 764455. You can use the PWR app to say hello to us just by downloading it on your phone or on your smart devices, or you can email studio@purewestradio.com. The benefit of contacting us that way is that if you don't want to be named, you can put no name and we'll know not to mention you. You can also comment on social media, because that's also where we're broadcasting right now. We're over on Facebook, we're on YouTube, we're on Instagram, so we can see your comments, we can see your names, and we can put them up. So if you've got a question that you want the wider community to know about, then by all means get in touch and we'll be able to share that and find out what we can do. Hayley, we've got Dave with us because we've just been talking to Ellen. We found out that cooking doesn't need to be as long or as an arduous a task as it might be. However, as Dave just said off air, this is a Healthy Mind show. There are some people that are experiencing hardships beyond food, and that is getting it in the first place. And this is where the kind of ecosystem all blends into one.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that what Dave was saying there about being open for 18 years, I was quite surprised that you've been open that long as a food bank.
Mm.
And as we talked earlier off air about not being able to have fresh food, but learning how to make it maybe a little bit healthier, that for donation wise. But one of my questions, I suppose, is what, if anything, has changed over the last 18 years, and particularly over the last 5 years with Patch?
Well, I think one of the fundamental changes that we've done, obviously during COVID, we were very busy. We were doing about 10,000 parcels in the year, which is a lot more than we're doing at the moment. But I think we were delivering then as well. And I think that's been one of the fundamental changes over the last, since I took over 4 years, is that we've stopped doing deliveries, because obviously we were spending a lot of money on doing deliveries, which and then the money was being funneled away from buying food, So now we expect people to come in and collect their food. We provide the food, we bag it all up, and the least we can expect is people or the referring agent to come and get the food, and pick it up and deliver it to the client. We do deliveries in certain circumstances, but I guess as a food bank, that's been the biggest fundamental change. I mean, we're still doing what we do. We get donated food by people. We buy food if we have to, and then we give it out to people. It's not our food. I say that to people all the time. It's not my food. Yeah. People like you and people of the public give Patch food because they trust us to give food parcels to people, and that's what we do. But going back to the nutritional thing, as Hayley touched on, and we talked a bit off air, it's very difficult to get people to donate fresh food, because if they leave it in one of the donation baskets in the supermarkets, they can't really leave salad or fresh meat and stuff like that. So a lot of the surplus that we get from Tesco is healthier than what we get donated by the general public. But then you'd expect that, because they're going to donate items that have got a bit of longevity about them. Tins of beans, pasta sauces, which have got a good shelf life. So we base our food parcels around that, really. But we do chuck in a lot of fresh food when we've got it available, especially fruit and veg. We get a lot of that donated.
Yeah. Tammy, what are your initial thoughts when you think about food banks and Patch and their need here in Pembrokeshire?
Well, just it's a fantastic service, just helping those in financial crisis within the county, and I think that's just such a worthwhile, important service that you and the team are providing, Dave.
I think, and the demand is that, as I said off air, we do on average about 500 food parcels a month, which is a lot. And people can self-refer as well. So it's not just the people who are coming through your health visitors or your social workers now. It's people maybe who are both working, who maybe the budget is quite finite, and maybe they've hit a bump in the road, a tire, new tire on the car, or the children want to go on a school trip, and they just haven't got that money, and something in their budget's got to give, So we do say to them, look, we can help you with food over a 6-week period to maybe allow you to funnel your resources to what you need to, So and that's proved really popular, the self-referral.
Yeah, I remember when I was back in Sitton's Advice, we used to have little tickets that we'd have to give out. They'd have to be signed by you and by us as the referring agent, and make sure that it was all ratified and that it was all sorted. And but you mentioned there, couples that are working we're in a very strange time where we've got people in part-time, full-time work. They have that bump in the road because their outgoings and the balance of things is off. How I know that people are self-referring, because you said it's a great avenue. What aspect of I'm going to use the word embarrassment, I don't know if there are better words, but what about those people trying to actually engage with the service in the first place to make sure that they're not going hungry?
And that is really tricky, isn't it? I had a couple come into the shop the other day. They were trying to feed their daughter. Her daughter had lost her job. She was a single parent. She had 3 children. She wouldn't go to the food bank. She was too embarrassed to go to the food bank. I said to the parents, look, we can make it as indiscreet as you like, even take it in my car without the van pulling up outside, and stuff like that. Anyway, they said that she just would not refuse help. But what they did do was they gave me her address. So on that day, I put a food parcel in my car. I drove to the person's address and I just left it on the doorstep. No tags, no name, just left it on the doorstep. And I hope maybe that she obviously wouldn't know where it come from, but I hope that maybe that would maybe urge, to spur her on to maybe ask for help, because there are some people who won't approach us. Yeah, it's really difficult to get them if they're not interested,
Like the implications of not being able to take nourishment of any kind. We heard from Ellen about the wonderful array and taste the rainbow, but if you don't even have anything, then that's a spiral to definite ill health, both mentally and physically.
Yeah, and I also think that when you get to the stage that you're desperate that you've got to come to a food bank, nutrition is out of your it's not on your radar, is it? You just want food. You just want a tin of beans that you can chuck in the microwave, or a bowl full of pasta with a load of cheese on top. That's what they're in. That's all you want to do, isn't it? You just want food, I guess. So I think from a healthy eating point of view, that's probably not high up on your agenda,
No. And there's a lot of societal changes before that, before we get to a position where hopefully one day, I hate to put you out of a job here, Dave, but patch won't exist.
Well, interestingly, we had a trustees meeting last night, and they said to me, "Where do you see us in 12 months?" And I said, "I'd be out of work," because that would be the ultimate, wouldn't it? Is that we don't need food banks.
Yeah, that is success.
Yeah.
Hayley's got a few questions for you, Dave.
What do you typically see, sort of cause-wise, that usually you see the rise in numbers coming to you for food parcels?
Yeah, so it's mostly financial, mostly around a delay in benefits. I think the universal credit form has changed now. It's more onerous. I think there's a longer delay. Even if there's a change in your circumstance, I know I've had several people who've had another child and they've had to reapply. So they can't keep the money that they're having for the two, maybe, and plus one child. They've got to reapply for the whole thing again. And there's a huge delay around that. Fuel cost is another one. People being hit by, the cost of energy has been cited as a big, as a big problem for them and a big cause for them going into debt, So, yeah. And then, of course, people who have been sanctioned maybe got into debt, so they've been sanctioned by the unemployment or the universal credit, so they've had money taken off them, which then again plunges them into food poverty.
It's a real spiral, isn't it?
It can be when you're down there. It can be really tricky to sort of get your head above the parapet again. Yeah.
And there's no real help, is there, to set somebody back on their feet, really? I mean, you've got your service, but there's not the benefits agency and all those people are not there to set you back on your feet. They're just there to take your details, and I think that's a hard thing.
Yeah, and I think you just got to you just got to go through the process. So we have so interestingly, you should say that now, because the job centre used to refer a lot of people into us for food parcel, especially if they've been sanctioned or whatever. But they don't refer to us anymore now, because I think the government change is that food banks don't need to exist, because there is no poverty. So they don't refer to us now. They get signposted to the food bank, and then the people have to come to, and then we decide. But we are working in conjunction with CAB now. They do a drop-in on a Monday down in Milford. So what we say to people now who are self-referring is that we'll give you a food parcel, but you must come and see the CAB advisor. Just to see if you can get some different benefits, or if they can tweak a form for you or whatever, So we have sort of made that a criteria now around self-referrals, and most people go and they've found out some information that they can get some more money. And we also have a drop in on a Wednesday with PATH, the homeless.
Yeah.
So that they can help people with housing issues and stuff like that. So
yeah, because there's so much that can be done, particularly with money matters. You've got your your priority and your non-priority debts. there is a difference as to how you can deal with them. So if you're thinking of you're paying out X number every month and you're thinking, I am so short, I can barely afford this, it's worth going to Sitton's advice, finding out exactly what category of payment that is, going through your income, going through your expenditure, prioritizing what needs to be paid, and then the non-priorities, just telling them, this is all I've got.
You need roof, energy, and food, don't you? You know, and those are the priorities, aren't they?
Yeah. So it's definitely worth doing that. Tammy.
Yeah, just listening. It's I think there's that element of some people there's that stigma around asking for food assistance.
I know.
It's about like breaking that stigma, and almost just putting it out that they're asking for help is a sign of strength. It's not a sign of weakness.
Absolutely, and I say that to people, all the time. Look, there's nothing wrong with asking for help, as you say. It's if you've got to that point where you need help, then there's plenty of services out there. We've got a great third sector in Pembrokeshire. There's a lot of help and support for people. But also on the flip side of that, so we collect surplus from Tesco's, Milford 3 nights a week, Milford Haven and Pembroke Dock 3 nights a week. So we last year we collected, between the two of them, we collected nearly 3,000 crates of surplus food.
Wow.
The Tesco boxes, So what we do with that is we take it back to the base. What we can use in our food parcels, we keep upstairs. But the rest we put down we've got a community fridge in our shop in Charles Street. Now, interestingly, the people who come for that are more older people. And interestingly as well, is they will always put a donation in the pot, in the box on the counter. They're happy to take the food. And I say to them, look, you're only saving it going to landfill. But I want to give you something. And it might only be 50p or £1, but they will most time put something in the pot, which is interesting, because you get the younger people coming in and they'll just take it and walk away. And it's almost like they see it as that it's a given that it belongs, that they can take it, which they can. Obviously, as I say, I go back to we don't want it to go in landfill. We want it to be used. But interestingly, the older generation who come in and more now are using it or taking the food, and they're happy to donate something for it.
It becomes like a pay what you can and pay it forward, pay it back. Like a few coffee shops, they'll pay a coffee forward and have it on the wall.
Yeah, and I don't know if you're aware of these box boyd schemes. Have you seen these box schools?
Milford have just opened one. Pembrokeshire have got one as well.
Yeah, I was invited to the opening of the Milford one the other day, and that's a sort of pay as you can afford, or pay what you can afford, and that was well stocked with vegetables, and I think ultimately for Milford Haven they're going to have a little market garden there, and they're going to use the produce to put into the box boyd. So interestingly, we're going to team up with them because we get a lot of surplus. Excellent. So we're going to put some surplus in there. But that's a good idea. And that, again, is on a pay-as-you-can-afford scheme.
Yeah. And that's just the food. That's our, in fact, before I move on. Tammy's reading my mind over here. So that's nutrition. That's how we're linking Ellen to you talking about Patch there. And of course, Ellen is also linked with Patch.
She's a trustee with Patch, yeah. So she's been on board. She's been to the food bank a couple of times to sort of make little tweaks around what we can give out. As I say, we are governed a lot by what we are given to what we can give out. But we started doing a recipe a month now. So Ellen's been doing a recipe and we put it up on our Facebook page. And then we've also printed cards, which we drop into the food bank, food parcels. So just like make a simple curry and stuff like that.
Yeah, I was talking to someone earlier on today when I said, we've got Dave from Patch coming up and Ellen. They're like, wouldn't it be good if they put little recipe cards in there?
Yeah,
and you're already doing it.
We have started it. I think it's Lucy. My admin's been off for a while, so she's back in work now. So we'll get that going again. Yeah, but
what a great idea.
So
if
great.
You've got some of the ingredients in that food parcel, bolster it up with pay what you can, another box board or somewhere else, you can be getting these nutritious meals and getting all the benefits that Ellen was talking about earlier.
Absolutely, yeah.
Amazing. And then Tammy was reading my mind. The Patch not only provides food parcels, but Tammy, what else has been catching your attention?
Well, I saw it back in the summer. I want to say August. Is your annual Christmas toy appeal?
Toy appeal, yeah. So that's yeah.
Can you tell us, everyone listening, more about that, please?
Yeah, so that's been going about 16 years, I think. So basically, on the same premise as the food bank, people can get referred by social workers, health visitors, school staff, police officers, they refer in. So you can refer families in who are struggling, and especially coming up to the festive period. And then we, Patch, as an organisation, commit to providing 4 to 5 age-appropriate toys for each child. We put them all in a box. We put wrapping paper, sellotape, chocolates if we've got them, or biscuits. We package them all up in a box and we deliver them to the doorstep for the family. And the reason why we put the wrapping paper and the sellotape in is that the family, or the mum and dad, or mum, dad, whatever setup you've got, they can sit down and wrap the toys and wrap the presents themselves, and then so it brings a bit of normality to their Christmas, which otherwise they might not have. So that's so that's the toy appeal in a nutshell, really.
Because there's a lot of, no doubt we will cover this on Healthy Minds in round about probably second week of December. But Hayley, there can be huge implications and ramifications of young people comparing themselves to their friends who might have had a very different Christmas to them. The psychological impact that time of year has from a very young age can be huge.
It is. We talk with this, I think, every year, don't we, when it comes to Christmas, that there's such a pressure for parents to perform this big Christmas, and we've lost the sense of family and being together because of this materialistic, I suppose it's retail, isn't it? They lead the fight in that. And it works, that campaign works to put pressure on children, to put pressure on parents to buy. So how do you support parents who aren't in a position to buy all these toys, but are desperate to please their children and will go into debt for it?
Yeah, it's a tricky one, as you say. It's not only the retailers; it's the social media, it's peer pressure, it's pressure from all sides, isn't it? They want the best tablet, the latest phone, the latest Nike top or trainers or whatever. I mean, the toys that we provide don't come anywhere near to the value of some of the what children expect to receive. But I think what we do, and I remember as a kid, I was one of 5, and only my dad worked. My mum was a stay-at-home mum, as they were back in the day. But I remember Christmas was like a magical time for us. We'd have a stocking on the end of the bed, delivered by Santa, obviously, and it would be full of small toys, little gifts, and we'd have great fun, ripping it open. And I just think, sadly, we've lost that, haven't we? But I think with the Patch toys, even though some of them we try to give a main present, a lot of the other presents are sort of smaller. So maybe we're teaching people a lesson around that it's better to have something than nothing. And also maybe half a dozen smaller toys is better than maybe just one unaffordable tablet or whatever.
Yeah.
It's funny because my children are older. They're the other end, there's 24, 21, 19 and 16. And over the last 5 years, even the 16-year-old has struggled to know what to want. So they've kind of gone through this whole I want everything to we've got everything. So when Christmas comes, what do we buy now? But it's removing that pressure, isn't it? It's that thing of not caring about what everybody else is doing and what you think you should do. These parents who put up pictures of 1 million flipping presents on the sofa piled high.
Yeah.
Leave them to it. If that's how they want to run Christmas, let them do that, but you don't have to do that. And I think that's the message that we need to give out more, isn't it? That you don't need to do what everybody else is doing.
And that is our hardest age group to cater for in our toy appeal, is the older children, because, as you say, most of them have got smartphones, most of them got tablets. What do you get them? It's really tricky. It's really difficult.
It is. One thing that has impressed me, I think you mentioned it earlier on, is just how generous people are in both the Christmas toy appeal and also the food donations.
Yeah.
Well, you wouldn't be able to function without the generosity of people right here in Pembrokeshire?
Oh, well, I say this every time. It overwhelms me of how generous people are, as you say, at the toy appeal. So if we take sort of some of our biggest donators, you've got Stenner, and that we'll go up there for this wow moment every year.
Yeah.
And it'll be the same this year. I think somewhere between £3,000 and £4,000 worth of toys last year. Ascona last year, the year before. £10,000 worth of toys. The staff at Valero, in excess of £5,000 and a couple of £1,000 in Tesco vouchers. And also the Valero staff come over. They have their own dedicated Saturday where they come over as a group and they sort toys because they want to get involved, So those are just three, of the bigger donators. I mean, but the people in the street, we have donation points all over Pembrokeshire. We were on the Castle Square last year. I was inundated. I think, did you come down?
It wasn't me, no.
No. But we were inundated. They filled up we had a basket, and it was great. So yeah, people of Pembrokeshire never cease to amaze me. And like it goes back to what I said, our third sector in Pembrokeshire is massive in it, because when you think, we've got our toy appeal going, there's lots of other people got appeals going. The Three Amigos appeal, I know that's well supported, and rightly so. So the people of Pembrokeshire are brilliant. Yeah.
It is great. And if you are someone here that finds yourself in those harder times, what's your advice to those that may be thinking, I don't know where to turn, but there is an avenue through Patch? What's your advice to them?
Yeah, just give us a ring. Send me an email, Dave Golding at patchcharity.co.uk. Referring to you, they can come through you if they feel, we try and be as discreet as we can. I mean, we make it as easy as we can. Like I said right at the start, it's not my food. People like you, like Tammy, like Haley, they give food to us and we distribute it. That's what we do. As I say, we there shouldn't be any shame in asking for food. I mean, we that's what we exist for. So contact us, come into the shop. Just slip a note through my door, whatever, at home, whatever, just send a letter in. The referral form's online. It's all anonymized. When the people come in to sort the toys, all they see is the child's age and gender, and there's no names, so that nobody knows who they're packing for. So it's all done, very discreetly and very, sympathetically.
Yeah, you mentioned earlier that you're in Milford Haven. For those who might not know anything about the Patch charity, where in Milford, what's the website for the forms, what's the social media? Give us the full lowdown.
Right, okay, so the website, you'll have to bear with me for a couple of days. We just had an offer from a company to build us a website, which is being done at the moment. They're sending through a draft, so but it will be patchcharity.co.uk when it's up and running. So right, here we go. We've got a food bank in Lower Frog Street in Tenby, which is in the old chapel. We've got a food bank in the VC Gallery in Pembroke Dock. We've got a food bank in Milford Haven in Robert Street. We've got our shop in Charles Street. We will have donation points. I haven't got the list at the moment, but to give you a couple, Parfit's Carpets, the old chapel will collect toys for us. Best one in, is it Diamond or Diamond Street?
Yeah,
they're going to have a basket. Best one in Charles Street's going to have a basket. Nourish Cafe in Withybush is going to have one. The Sheep Shop in Haverfordwest. But there will be an exhaustive list on our Facebook page in the next week or so. But yes, anybody can donate a toy. You haven't got to spend loads of money, but all we do ask is that it's a new toy. If you've got good old toys that you want to donate, then we can sell those through our shop and we create revenue from that. Our shop is a great revenue stream for us. So yeah.
And you often use that revenue to actually buy items that you might be low on. When it comes back to the food parcels. Our shop is a good revenue stream. Going back to the food, so we've got donation points in Lidl's, Aldi's, Asda in Pembroke Dock. We've got Lidl's in Milford Haven and Tesco's. And we've got Aldi in Haverfordwest, Lidl in Haverfordwest, Morrison's in Haverfordwest. So there's donation pots there, so you can bring in food or buy something extra when you're going to shopping. Just drop it in our basket. Yeah, but I say it all the time. I'm overwhelmed by what the generosity of people in Pembrokeshire. And you had one initiative in the summer, which was sign up for a race and the cost was at least a tin of beans.
Tin of beans, yeah. And we'll be doing that again next year. Yeah. So, and we're hoping to resurrect maybe Pembrokeshire's Got Talent with Pure West in conjunction with Pure West. But we're going to meet with Tony for that and have a chat about that. Yeah. So
watch this space.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
It's 10:30 here on Health Minds Better Lives. We've got Dave Golding from Patch with us. We're going to be listening to Tammy's conversation with Philippa about AI companions very shortly. Tammy, any last questions or thoughts for Dave as we got him here?
I just think it's such a fantastic service or services that you provide, Dave, and it's just to remind people that you're out there and people can refer, self-refer, and I just wish you all the best for the next 18 years.
Yeah, thanks. It won't be me. It won't be me. Don't wish that upon me.
Yeah, Hayley.
Just a quick question. I know you don't know what you're getting in donations, but what does a typical food parcel look like for someone who was expecting to maybe needing to come in the next couple of months?
Okay, so we our Christmas food parcel, we double up so that we give people, and that would look a lot different to our normal food parcel. So, but a normal food parcel would be pasta sauce, curry sauce, beans, spaghetti, tinned fruit or veg, fresh fruit or veg if we've got it, bread, and then it would be mostly tinned fruit. We don't get donated a huge amount of fresh fruit, but then we do put in bags of salad and also potatoes and broccoli and stuff like that if we've got it. And we try and put in as much fresh stuff as we can, but the rest would be tinned. Yeah, it would mainly be around the sort of traditional stuff, really. As I say, spaghetti, pasta sauce, beans and sausage, pot noodles maybe, or super noodles if they got children. And obviously the parcel is on a sliding scale. So a single person's parcel would be completely different to, say, a parcel for 2 adults and 2 children. We give enough food. Well, what we see is enough food for 7 days. Yeah, in a parcel. Yeah, in a parcel. But it's mostly long dated stuff as well. But as I say, we do use the surplus that we get in from Tesco's, and we get a lot of cakes and stuff like that. So we bang those in. Don't tell Ellen, obviously, but
we heard earlier that some fats are good for you.
Yes,
so
exactly.
That's where the flavour lives. So it's all good. Any other thoughts, Hayley?
No, I think that's it.
Go on,
no, I was going to say we do also give out cleaning products, and we also give out shower gel and deodorant and shampoo, and also we give out period products, not only in the food parcels but also in the shop. They're free. We've got a huge stand in the shop, and we've always given those out. That's something I always changed and insisted on. Yeah. Is that we give out period products. Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Before it's time.
No, absolutely.
It's
ridiculous.
Still conversation now.
Yeah.
Hayley.
No, I think all the best for the Christmas appeal. We used to do it in Women's Aid, and I know that it makes families, it takes the pressure off families, and it makes them really happy when, Christmas Day, when they can get up and have a present. Yeah. So good luck with that.
And just to say that anybody, if they want to come and volunteer to help sort toys, we'll be doing it on Tuesdays, Thursdays and Saturdays starting in November. And we've got a venue now as well, as you very well know.
I don't know yet, but I may have an idea.
Okay, well, we'll save that for another day.
We'll save that reveal for the next time we've got Dave in the studio. All that's left to say before we start talking about AI companions, it's World Mental Health Day tomorrow. Tammy, what does that mean to you?
You're mute.
Oh, your microphone.
I'm doing you now, Hayley. I'm sorry. I thought I got away with it, but obviously I haven't. Sorry. For me, it's very much just about remembering people's mental health, just bringing it to the forefront. We don't need a single day, but it's there 365 days of the year. But it's that one time where it's at the forefront of everyone's mind. So if anyone wants to wear yellow or green tomorrow, I definitely will be, just to start those conversations.
Thank you very much. Hayley?
Well, you know me and awareness raising days. They are like, it's like hit or miss. I like them because they do what they say on the tin. I don't like them because this is not going away over a day and we forget. People do it for the day and then they forget. So I have a love-hate relationship with these awareness raising days. But yeah, hopefully that people are raising awareness tomorrow and maybe somebody reaches out who hasn't been able to reach out before.
And Dave, what does it mean to you?
Yeah, I think I agree with Hayley. I'm not all for these flagged up days because I think it's a year round thing, isn't it? 365 days a year. And I think it's not always obvious either. And one of the things we do in the shop, and it was sort of blowing the patch trumpet, but starting next week, we do soup. So Taste of Haven across the road from us, the cafe, they make us soup every day. And then and we've got a lot of people coming into the shop who just want to mooch around, but they want to talk. And we give them a cup of soup. We've got a sofa in the corner. And we find a lot of people who fit that category of having maybe poor mental health just come in and they feel it as a safe place to come. So all I would say to anybody is that a lot of the times it is hidden. It's not obvious. So just be kind. Because if you're kind to yourself and you're kind to other people. And it really works, I think.
Yeah, we'll be talking about it on the radio tomorrow. I know that Helen Morgan, who has been a contributor on the show before here, is going to be talking about it during the afternoon show. So let us know what you're going to be doing to help have those conversations. Talk about taboo this evening with Dave and Patch and asking for help. What can we do to reduce that stigma? Before we go, and I press play on the interview with Tammy and Philippa, Ellen's just sent me the recipe and a picture of the beef and lentil cottage pie, and it looks amazing. So I can't wait to get this up on our website and add it to the comments of the conversation that we had earlier on. We'll be back again next month. The date I'm getting up in real time for you right here is going to be the Thursday, the 13th of November. And well, I just put it in a little messenger chat, actually. Let's have a quick little look over here. Hayley, what have we got in store for November?
Well, it'll be World Kindness Day as it happens, Dave. Did you know that?
I didn't. But I try to be kind 365 days a year, Hayley, so we're okay.
I'm with you. I'm totally with you. I have a love-hate relationship with them. You've caught me on the off then. I haven't got it up.
I've got it on the messenger for you. Gratitude and grounding, cultivating connection, the benefits of gratitude practice, nurturing relationships with family, friendships within your community, and then, with it being the 13th of November, dealing with pre-Christmas stress and expectations that we touched on earlier with Dave and the Christmas toy appeal. And then outside the box, mindful movement outdoors, even in cooler weather, meditative practice as a brisk walk or trail running in nature, simple grounding exercises. And in fact, talking of food, I'm going to be at the Fishguard Bay Food Festival on Saturday, where they are going to be joined by the Blue Tits for a swim in Goodwick.
And the Spanish Galleon, have you seen that?
And the Spanish Galleon's also moored up there, which looks fantastic. And then back to rhythm and inner roots, looking at a bit of music therapy if we can squeeze it all in. So that's all in store in November. All that's left to say is to say thank you to Dave.
You're welcome. Thank you. Good night.
And to Ellen, who joined us earlier on from Health Aspire. You can find out more about what she's getting up to by searching Health Aspire. And Tammy, thank you for you this evening. Any parting thoughts for us on this October evening?
Just to think about your food, as I will be. And again, just those the great service that Patch is doing, and if anybody wants to volunteer for Patch for their Christmas appeal, head over in November.
And Hayley, over to you. Thank you very much for your time this evening. What are your parting thoughts on this October evening?
You're the most important person in your world. It's time to look after yourself, whatever that means to you.
And if you need a little bit of a help and a leg up from us, drop us an email right now, studio@purewestradio.com. Put in the subject line, Healthy Minds. What is it that we can support you with? We'll do our best to find the right experts at the right time and the right place. And we'll be here again, November the 13th, from 9 p.m. Thank you so much for your time. And if you're listening and watching this back, thank you so much for sticking through to this point. The whole show will be available on the catch up, including the conversation that we have next with Tammy and Philippa talking AI companions here on Pure West Radio. It's been Healthy Minds, Better Lives. Good evening.
Bye.
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 To the rhythm